everyone, welcome back to another Brutus Monroe Design Team project. We are celebrating Christmas. It is the Christmas release over in the Brutus Monroe Store. Oh boy, you have to head over and take a look at all the wonderful products that are being released today. I'm starting with this Joy to the World stamp set, and I am going to do a little bit of stenciling using this paint dot stencil. I have some metallic gold Chroma glaze, and I also have taped off, as you can see, the middle of this card panel. This is Canson XL watercolor paper. It is cut to about 4 by 9. I wanted something that was going to absorb the moisture because I am doing some watercoloring using some distress inks, and the Canson watercolor paper was perfect for this project. Here I have the beautiful Joy to the World stamp set. It comes with one image which has a candle, an ornament, a Christmas tree, some beads, and it has a beautiful sketch look to it, which I thought lent itself well to an old world style card. The sentiment, of course, is Joy to the World. This two-piece stamp set does have a coordinating die, which is available separately over in the store. I had some vintage photo distress oxide on my desk, so I went ahead and used that. I'm going to do some heat embossing using the Gilded embossing powder from Brutus Monroe. I wanted that gold embossing on this card to match the gold metallic Chroma glaze. Once I get this image stamped, I'm going to make a mistake. What a surprise. Here I'm going to run that embossing powder over the ornaments, but not over the sentiment. Right there. I'll heat up my heat tool and I will take it to the panel. I'll heat up that image and melt the embossing powder. Thank goodness I kept my stamp in my positioning tool. I'll ink it up again, and then I'll do the same thing off camera. I'll heat emboss the Joy to the World with that Gilded embossing powder. I did want to cut my panel down. I want all the way to the edge of the image. So my panel is approximately 8 1/4 by 3 1/4. And then I'm going to do a little bit of watercoloring. I do want to apologize. I don't have as much watercoloring in this video as I would have liked because my memory card filled up and I was in the groove and had no idea that my filming had stopped. I have Salvaged Patina. I did add some fresh clean water over this candle, and I'm adding the Salvaged Patina. I'm going to add just a base layer, and once I finish with this, I will let it dry and move on to that Christmas tree on the far right. Once I start coloring this, I'm using Distress Oxide ink in Bundled Sage. I do come back in later because the Bundled Sage, with the Distress Oxide, I wasn't getting the vibrancy that I was looking for. So I did use the Distress ink, which you're always going to get more of a vibrant look when you watercolor with Distress ink versus Distress Oxide. For the ornament in the center, I ended up using the Salvaged Patina on some of the stripes. I added a little bit of the Campfire, and then I also used some of the barn door. I mixed the two of those colors together. For the flame, I used the Campfire, which I can't remember the full name of the ink, but I will have it linked in the description box below. For the star, the top of the ornament, and for the illumination of the flame, I did use Fossilized Amber. Crackling Campfire, that's what it was. So here is that Distress Oxide and Vintage Photo, and here's where we are going to add that old world or vintage feel to this card. I love this look at Christmas time. Christmas cards are absolutely hands down my favorite cards to create. I'm so excited because I have so many projects featuring this huge release over at the Brutus Monroe Store, and I can't wait for you to see what I have in store for you. So here I'm taking that ink all around the edges. I will have some leftover ink on my brush right here, and I'm going to tone down that white. Now I do have those lines where my tape was and where I watercolored. So I have some skinny strips of this gold foil not watercolor paper, gold foil paper. And I'm going to add a piece at the top and the bottom to frame that image, which is going to make that image stand out a little bit more. One thing that I regret that I didn't do here is I should have taken a smaller slimline die and cut the center out of that gold piece of paper. I wasted this paper. I love gold foiled paper, or actually any of these metallic finished papers. I just think they're absolutely beautiful, and I do hate to waste them. But again, as I said, I was totally in the groove working on this. So I'm going to go ahead and lay this panel over the top of this. That gold is only 1/8 of an inch larger than my card panel, and then I'm going to use a piece of craft cardstock that's cut just 1/8 of an inch larger than that, and I will mat this onto that card base. I felt like I still needed a little something on this card, so I did take a Pink Fresh Studio die. It's a bow die. I cut it out of craft paper, and once I built the bow, I am going to add it to the center of my card, and that's going to be my project for today. So I will have a link to all of the products that I did use that are available in the Brutus Monroe store, linked in the description box below. Make sure that you head to the Brutus Monroe Instagram account to check out all the new inspiration for this release. Here's a close-up look at my photo, or at my card, I'm sorry. And until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day. Thanks so much for watching.